we've been extensively involved in Kurdish issues for many years. And not so long ago, we had the honor of welcoming Ilham Ahmed to New York. We arranged different activities for her, cooperate very closely with Justice for Kurds, JFK, which is founded and chaired by our friends who are on the line today. So let's get started with our discussion. We're very honored to have on the Zoom call Ilham Ahmed, who is the co-president of the Syrian Democratic Council's Executive Committee. In addition, the panel includes Sinam Mohammed, who is the U.S. representative of the Syrian Democratic Council. And also, we're joined by Diwan Ozkan, who will assist us with our communications. Diwan's a good friend and the U.S. representative of the People's Democratic Party. We'll have a short discussion. I'll present some questions to our good friend Ilham. Diwan will translate. Sinam, you may weigh in and join as you wish. After these questions, we'll hear from Tom Kaplan from Justice for Kurds with his question and intervention. And then we have some questions from participants that I'll present before we adjourn promptly in 1 hour at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So warm welcome to you all. Warm welcome to participants, and especially to Ilham Ahmed. Let's get started with our discussion. We're going to be focusing on conditions in North and East Syria since Turkey's invasion. Ilham, you're originally from Afrin. Can you please describe for us what happened in Afrin when Turkey invaded in January of 2018? Could you also describe atrocities that were committed during Operation Olive Branch? Let's also touch on the people who were displaced and where did they go and their current conditions. So the floor is yours, Ms. Ilham.
مرحبا إلهام أحمد برسم مني یکم اوه تجي افرینی تو دکاری هنک جمعه افرین چه بود 2000 سال 2018 دولت ترک ایریش کرد لسر افرینی لور چه بود و روش افرین نکات چیه یعنی انسانlık suçu çavat hat çekirin lور تو دکاری هنک جمعه چه قومیه و نها روش افرینی چیه
بله گلک سپاس دکتر جبو در خستنا به کم جبینه کو پر گرینگ بینن که وقت کرونا لفو تفجر دنیا همه روستان دیه لباش کید به ویره که ام کارن جاردن هف ببینن و هف دورا گفتگو بکن سر روشی گشتی هی.
Thank you very much for firstly organizing this panel in such a time of crisis in the whole world, in this pandemic era, for organizing this event that we can come together and still talk about very important issues happening around the world.
عفرين باجار كي خب خوري خستن دكر حمو أولو نتاو عفرين بآزادي جيان دكرن جن بآزادي جيان دكر ده 2018 دا دولة تركيا بإيريشا كمظن بحطيو سي طيران سر أزمان عفرين كيراندن وهر دار اللي دانكرن وكومن شتا عفرين داغر كرن تف ارتش الدولة التركية إيرو ارتش الدولة التركية دهندر عفرين ده هنن وكومن شتا جريداي دولة التركية كو أميرين داعش نافدا القاعدة نافدا إيرو عفرين هارومار دكن ويران دكن.
Afrin was a multi-faith, multi-ethnic city that was governing itself up until 2018 when the Turkish government allied with jihadist, inhumane organizations to go and attack Afrin. In 2018, they conducted air raids, and occupied the city and are still conducting inhumane atrocities to this day right now.
جهنگا کو اف کومن کتا هتنا عفرین دا آثار دیرو وهاري وي بده حزارة جي كرنا قد كرنا جاردن اف جنان درافين ودمي جروبك ايكو بتعزيز زندان نصاتنا دي تنجنين فردي عفرين زاروكان درافينن مروفان درافينن هر رنگي يعني وك خرابوني قدر حق حقوق سيزيه قدر حق قال عفريني تدكن ويدري بكارتين بارمانجيكو خلقي عفريني ايكو مايا هواناجي بدن رافاندن داغر كريا خد تمام بكن.
The gangs that attacked Afrin together with the Turkish state are now abducting women, are raping women, are killing women, are abducting children from the city. Many thousands of Kurds and the people of Afrin left the city when the attacks began, but some remained, and the remaining Kurds that are in the city right now are being forced to leave as well, faced with all of these atrocities that I just outlined.
نازي دوسة حزار إنسان جعل هاتنا دوركرن إيرو ده قامبا ده جيان ده چوم زيارت قامبا چوم زيارت أنا بران لوی داره تمامی ده چنبره کی دانه تو کس آلیکاریا وانا که تواهی خسریه دموکراتیک گرتی سرخوی مسئولی و هر وها داخاته که مظلم لبعدين كو وكو من شتاج عفرين در بكرن جبوكو فجرن مالي خور يعني صوت قارنه بيجن روجا كو عفرين وري رزقار كرن ام آمدن كو بيخاص ام درباسي عفرين ببن جبوكو ام فجرن مالي خور لمخابل كريارين كو الدولة التركية نيتا داغر كرن قدام دريج جبوي مداخله كبر لازجين بوكو جروبين اي ما في مروفان اي تشافدير درباسي عفريني ببن كيفا كريارة تواهي ببن.
Close to 200,000 people from Afrin are in camps just outside of Afrin and are surrounded by these gangs and the Turkish military and are in a very dire position right now because no one is actually reaching out to help them other than the South administration. There's no one helping them get by. And all of them, I was recently there, and all of them want to return to Afrin as soon as possible. But for that to happen, we need to end the occupation of Afrin by these gangs in the Turkish army as soon as possible. But with the way the Turkish army is operating there, along with these gangs, they want to turn this into a permanent occupation and not allow the people of Afrin to return.
Ilham, how did you react to the phone conversation between Mr. Erdogan and Mr. Trump on October 7th of 2019? Since then, has Turkey invaded and occupied lands, and are additional atrocities being committed now east of the Euphrates?
Reaktionat hembera telefona Trump و Erdogan dema او آخفتن بار چاوابو پشت او تلفونا نها ترک زیادتر ایریش کرن و فراتن دوسندا دا yani ایدی لورجی ایریش تکن و او روشاجی دکاری مرا تعریف بکنه
بس بحث روشا كيجان تلفوني كر ايه داوي
یه داوی پشت یعنی او اکیم 2019 دما کاتن سریکانی و تلابی
sanki denk خطبه
یعنی دما تلفن داوی دما ایریشی گریسپی و سریکانی کرد
بس دقاقي از او انترنتي تشيكم
دنگمنتی
از خط انترنتي بقهر مقازمتك
تمام she's having a little difficulty with the line right now, and she's just going to try and sort that out very quickly.
While she sorts that out, Sinam Mohammed, could you be seated and maybe step in and help answer those questions? Sinam, while Ilham is working out the technology, can you describe the events that occurred after the Erdogan-Trump phone call of October 7? Did Turkey invade, and has there been an ethnic cleansing?
Yeah. As you know, I mean, we were together working with the global coalition with the United States in order to defeat ISIS that time. The Turkey, I mean, increased to our region, and they are threatening to invade all the border with Syria. That time there was a call happened. We didn't know about the call after that between Erdogan and Mr. Trump to withdraw from the border. That time, of course, we were having I mean, a dialogue with the American administration or with the Mr. Jeffrey that time. They asked us to avoid all this invasion. You have to withdraw away from the border. It was about 5 kilometers first, they asked it. And then after that, they asked us to destroy all the, the tunnels, which was to keep our region secure. Unfortunately, after our forces, they destroyed all these security tunnels, all these things, and they tried to, they withdrew from the border. That time, Turkey attacked and invaded our region in Ras Al Ain and Tel Abyad, Sarikani, and Giresufi. And that time it was very critical and very catastrophic time that we have 300,000 people displaced from these both cities, and they came to the other cities like Al-Hasaka and so on. So it was really very catastrophic that time, the result of this phone call. Unfortunately, all the people of our people in north of East Syria, they were very disappointed. They say, oh, we were working together, so what happened that we will be betrayed in such way? And this is what happened. I think after that, the United States administration decided to stay in the region. And by staying in the region, but they are not at the border, they withdraw. So that time we, to avoid this attack and to avoid the threat more, and we have nothing, no option unless to call the Russian and the Syrian government forces to come and to, as we are a part of Syria, and to defend the Syrian land. This is what happened actually. So
Ilham is back with us. So Ilham, let's continue the discussion with you. Erdogan has pledged to repatriate refugees who are in Turkey to northern Syria, to what he calls a safe zone there. Has that occurred? Diwan, do you want to translate for her?
Just, sorry. هذول هم نهاد بيجا أردوغان قطبو از عربا بيجا جيندن بينم و بكم باجارين يكون نهاد داغر كري أو تشيبوية هيانها؟
هجمارك مظن جسدي حيشتي عفرين تفوية عرب لهرمن جريس بيسري كاني جيبوية يعني كرد تمامي جوان باجارة دركتنا وطنا قرقرد لبنابريه جيان دكن دناوا قامبات أنا وظرفة كي بر زحمت تا جيان دكن نزيكي باجار خونا نزيكي جندي خونا أما لكارن وجرن جبركو شتا وان دقرن دكوجن عدام دكن إشكنجات كن دحبسان ده أولا جي حمو بتعليمات دولة التركي وعسكرين دولة التركي
Right now, as of now, 80% of Afrin's population is now Arab refugees that have been brought from other parts of the country and placed in Afrin by the Turkish government. The same, around the same proportion has occurred in both Gillespie and Serikani. And the Kurds of these towns, although not too far away from the towns themselves, are actually living in camps and are unable to return to their homes. The threat of torture, rape, and actually murder as well are all faced by these people, and they're living in dire conditions in camps, maybe only a few miles away from their towns.
هجمارك مظن خريستياني كل سري كاني جيان ذكرن تواهي خريستيان وهجمارك مظن عربجي كود نافا خسرية دكار ذكرن دنافا سازية دابون أو ناجي تمامي لدربي باجار خونن دربي جندي خونن دبنابرية دانه نكا أو ناجي كارم بقرن جيواره خون.
There was a good number of, there was a big Christian community that was forced out of Serikani, and also the Arab community there that was friendly and actually worked as part of the autonomous administration have all been forced out, and every one of these people are unable to return.
These camps are being run by the autonomous administration of North and East Syria. How are you paying to provide services to the displaced persons? Are you getting any assistance from the international community or from the UN?
او کامپ همو بن کنترل ودانه از باورم و اون yani alikari dedin اون کسی yani او uluslararası örgütler kesi var alikari dike
او قام تواهيج عليه ريفبريا خطر دتين إباركرن وأليكاريا كوهيجي خسرية ديمقراطيكا قاضيا أليكاريا مروبي پر بالنسبة كي بتشوك پر رمزي أليكاري تدانش بركو درين درباسكرن أليكاريا نين حمي هاتنا قفاكرن روسيا جلفاتا güvenlik ناف دولتي فيتو كر دا ساكناندن دريه الكوتشر هاتا گرتن و هر وهاج عليه رژیم واجی نممکن آلیکاری ورج برکو رژیم قبول نکن.
All of these camps are being run by the autonomous administration with very little help from outside. International organizations do support a certain amount, but it's just a very tiny amount to how much these camps actually cost to run. And partly this is because there's actually a blockade from all sides almost. Turkey's closed its borders, Russia's not allowing anything to go through from where it controls, and the Syrian regime is blockading the area from the south. So it's very difficult to get aid to these areas.
We've heard a lot about Al-Hol camp. Could you describe the conditions there and what role the administration is playing in managing the camp and also providing security?
ما پرتش دیستی درباره کامپا هول هولی یعنی لور روش چیه و یونتیما خسر رولاوی چیه لو او کامپا
کامپا هول هجمارك مظنج و مالبتين چتين داعش تدانه هجمارك مظن يزارو كانه هر وها نزي 3000 5000 خلق عراقنا او ناجي مالبت عراقينا هناك جوانا بداعش يربون هناك جي كجبر داعش الرفيانا هاتنا ويدري هر وها هجمارك هندك مايه سوريتي ده اولا جي قاف بقاف جبكوش قام في درب كيفن بكفالات سرتي سكناندن يعني اف قام تازا دوی داویه داره و بریا خسر دکاری بو اوی وان بگره ناسنامه وان و امزه وان بگرش بوکو اوی چی بکن يعني ناسنامه وانا زلال ببه و داویه چی کرن خلاص کرن لی روش وانی دنا هفدا راستی روشه که پر خطری چی دیگه داعش نفدا خار خستن بکیزی ده بتایبت جنین ایکو برد شرادا بون يعني جنین هفجین امیر داعش بونه وانا ایدئولوژیک رخصتی کرینه و هر واحد هندره قامپه ده درسان دادن جاردن خلقی رخصتن که یعنی امکارم بیشن داعش شنو دا قامپان دا دخوازه حمله کنو دست ببکی.
Our whole camp is a camp again run by us, and it has the family members of ISIS terrorists there. We have about 35,000 people there from Iraq. A lesser number of Syrians now, as they've been handed over back to where they've come from in different parts of the country. But right now, our administration is trying to identify people, give people identities, and see how that whole problem of the camp can be solved. But what we're seeing right now in the camp is that ISIS is actually regrouping there, re-radicalizing people, and reorganizing itself, because the camp itself, because a lot of people are unwilling to take responsibility, is a breeding ground for that ideology to reorganize itself.
President Trump said that the caliphate was defeated and that ISIS had been destroyed. Is that a correct statement? Is ISIS regrouping? And what is the relationship between the ISIS remnants after the liberation of Baghouz and the NSA, the National Syrian Army, Turkey's proxy in North and East Syria?
Trump گفتو بو داعش خلاص بیه خلافت وان خلاص بو و ایدی ما خلاص کریه داعش تو جبوی چه دویجی و نها ام دربار تکیلیا نافبرا علمان داعش و گروبین چتین که ترکیه پشگیری ده نافوان دا تکیلی هی یا نه؟
يعني داعش وك بيجي رزقار كرنا آخا كود بن كنترول داعش لدبو قد ما رزقار فقط يعني ده قندان ده جهي كوهتي رزقار كرن ده حجرين رازاي قالك مانا حتى نهار لدير الزوري هر روز حملة لتر حجرين رازاي إيه داعش يتكرن قرتن شيد بن با إيرو داعشيا خود ناف جروبة كي إيه هاتي ده هزين أولكارية خود تقاندن چار اندام ای هاته بریندار کتن يعني فيش يوازي داعش اساس قصا كنترول سر ضعيف دبه او قصاجي خور خستن دكن لبرامبر فان اوبراسيون هي لبر خوددن روشه كوسا اي داعش هي وتيكلي وان ديريك بوا چتن اي تركان وا خور خستن كرنا تيكلي وان ده روسيا يا ايكو در كتن چاپمني جهنه دراغاندن ده وشهاتي وشاندن جهنه چل سرکانی گری سپی به چل عزاز وان درابه دبرن بین کنترل رژیم ده حتی العفرینه بین کنترل آترکا ده بوانا را دیرکت تکلیه وانه و دولت ترکی وان را خستن بکنجوده.
We've definitely defeated the physical caliphate. ISIS holds no physical territory right now, but we know that they have sleeper cells and fighters spread across the region in villages and in rural terrain. We know that there are a lot of sleeper cells still active, and our security forces are conducting operations on a daily basis almost. And we've just had recently an ISIS terrorist explode himself and injure 4 of our fighters. And the relationship between ISIS and the so-called NSA, the FSA, the Turkish army supports and the Turkish state supports, is very clear. We've had loads of documents that have proven this relationship. But even right now, the areas that are controlled by these gangs and the Turkish-supported factions of the NSA is very clear. We see ISIS sleeper cells organizing and regrouping in towns and cities controlled by the Turkish army, such as Azaz and Gurisepi.
Is the administration gathering data on war crimes? We've spoken with investigators in The Hague, and they're hoping that you have a warehouse of information that they could use in the future for prosecution.
یونتیما و درباره savaş suçu هەواڵیان بەلگە کۆم دەکە ji ber em dixwazin davayê vekin li Hollandayê li mehkemeyê işte savaş suçu mahkemesi em dixwazin davayekî vekin û rojekî ew ji me re pir lazim dibe.
Yani belge lazım mı?
Hûn belge kom dikin. Dengê min tê?
Ew belge dixwazin.
Yani eger pirs ew e yani yönetima we ew belgeyên wisa destê we de heye û hûn kom dikin yan na?
Erê ew belge henin tehqîqatê de yan
I think we have lost connection.
كريارين كل عفرني تكرن همي بلقي وين هنا.
Yes, we have document from. I'll translate what I heard because there was a cut off there. But we definitely have documents and even recent documents from all the things that they did in Afrin.
So Columbia University would be pleased to help with training on the gathering of data and the storage of that data so that eventually there can be accountability for the perpetrators of war crimes. Very important that we have a record.
Amwek University yani Üniversiteya Columbia dixwazin alîkar bibin wî milê de çawa ew belge dikarin kom bibin û çawa ew belge em dikarin profesyonel pêşkêşî mahkemeyan bikin di rojên pêş de.
Let's talk about minorities in North and East Syria. Could you describe the minority populations? Where do they live? How many are there? And have they been targeted by Turkey's jihadist proxies? Many of them are Christians.
Em dikarin hinek derbara kêm netawan biaxivin kîjan kêm netawan li Rojava hene û niha rewşa wan çi ye û dewleta Tirk çawa êrîş kir li ser wan?
Li ser kîjan dibêje bes êrişa ser
Hemû jî ser azınlıq, hemû azınlığên Rojava.
يعني اف كيمنت يعني قالين ايه مدا جيان دكه بتهبون دولة تركي وانا حمي بنابر الوشان دنا هجمارك ايه خريستيان هبون لسري كان يجي خريستيان.
Can we try and get Sinem to answer this one as well? Because this
يعني
is
Syrian Ermen أفناجي هاتنا بهنا بركرن بله يعني دبي وارد إيش مصن دانا سروانا أوناجي تشاوك وكرد بهنا بركرن فناجي تواهي بهنا بركرن يرو نلجي وخنا.
One of the biggest victims of Turkey's hostility and attacks against Rojava have been the minorities that live amongst us. For example, the Christians in Serikani have had to flee, have had to leave their towns that they've lived in for hundreds of years. And just like the Kurds, they are now internally displaced peoples too.
What are the conditions like for Yazidis? Are they also being targeted? And is the SDF able to provide protection to the Yazidi population in the north?
Gelê Yezidî jî hedef girtibûn ûn dikarin gelê Yezidî biparêzin yan na?
يعني قال يزيدي وقت أكو لشان قال هدف كرم في دوية جارك دن ب توب وطايرة خلي دان أو شرفان إيكو يبشة يعني يكنين فلسطين عشان قال لنوفن دوان خصتون وجاردن دخواستن كومن يا بنبركرن بنبر بكن مثلا هجمارك ای پنابر وی دوی خواسته بون وگرن مال خو بن جهات بو لبه لیدانه جارب زی مجبور بن خلق دیسا پنابر ای عفرین تفش خو پنابر کس دگوند خدا دجی خدا نمانه ل هرما کردستان و لیدانه کوچی به کرداش گوند وان قردکه گوندان هلدوشینه خرادکه آگردکه يعني جهه کو دولت ترکیه دچه تمامی خلک هرم جوی درج بنی دارادک و شهنک دن دخینه چون وان ده يعني گوهرتنا دموغرافیک پر بشوازه کی خراب لیکتینه هر وها ترک بوینه روی ده بخرابی و پر بالتهلكه بجيتني بالبروجي.
So as you know, the Turkish state has directly attacked the Yazidis on several occasions, and even on the most recent one was just a few days ago when after the Yazidis slowly started to return to their historic town, hometown of Sinjar. As you can, as a lot of people can remember, when Sinjar was first attacked, it was our fighters that went and helped them against ISIS. And as they've been returning, the Turkish state has attacked them again, bombed them from the air only a few days ago to attack the YBS positions, which is the fighting force of the Yazidis based in Sinjar right now. And so they've been forced to flee again. They've been terrorized again. The Yazidis of Afrin, just like the Kurds of Afrin, have been forced to flee. And so in a lot of places that the Turkish army goes, we know, the indigenous people, the people of those lands, have always opted to leave rather than to stay and be terrorized by the Turkish army and its affiliated gangs.
So in addition to providing services, do Yazidis and Armenians and Syriacs participate in local government? And what responsibilities do they have as residents on lands that are controlled by the administration?
Dënav yönetimi xwesarda Ermeni, Asuri u Yazidi, yani rola wan dënav xwesarî da heye û yani ew çawa tevlî dibin, ew jî li alanên ku ew dimînin, ew jî di nav biryargirtinê de ciyê xwe digirin yan na?
يعني هجمار وك كوتا كو جسريانا راهاتي دان جسدي ده جسريانا راهاتي دان جبركو جه خد هم بقرن قاس هجمار عدايدي تبن هجمار كيم بنجي لي صدي ده جوان راهاتي بلكره ده نعم ريفابريو خسر ده ايه دنجي بهالجارتنا كرد وعرب بشتار دبن هجمارك برزي ده خلقي عربت ده يعني اگر هفسروك كرده يك عرب يك عرب يك سوريان يك كرده يك سوريان يعني بيش وازي ده حمو سازيان ده كرد عرب سوريان وتركمانجي هبه ارمنيجي هي هجمارك پر كيم به چركز هبه چركز جي ده ناور ريبريو خسر ده هنا يعني بيشي وزيد ناف ريبريا خسر ده تبيك هاتيك جاندك جدا اولك جدا نتوك جدا جدر في ريبريا خسر نمايان هر كسك كده جدگره و بصدي بينج نيف جن دنافر ريبريا خسر ده جدگره يعني جهر دو جنسان صدي بينج كتاي هر دو جنسان.
So we actually implement a quota system, so that every single ethnicity or faith group in the region can be represented in the autonomous administration. For example, the Syrians have a 10% quota, and all the other faith and ethnic groups have specific quotas and that can take part in the elections. For example, we have a co-chair system. If one co-chair is a Kurd, the other one needs to be from another ethnicity. We can't have two co-chairs of the same ethnicity, and that's another way in which we try to get a fair representation of all the ethnic groups living in the region. We also apply a gender quota as well, in which men and women can equally take part in administrative roles.
Let's discuss your regional relations. Since the corona crisis, I understand that the Kurdistan regional government has provided some testing laboratories to the administration. And last week, there was an announcement of a reconciliation agreement between different factions of Kurds in North and East Syria. Could you describe for us your relations with the KRG, as well as your relations with other Kurdish groups in the AANES?
نها از تشکیل دخوازم پرسکم تکیلیا و به حکومت حرمی یه باشور چاویه من بیسکو هنک آلی کاریدان و دما کریزا کرونا او هندک آلی کاریدان دابون و تکیلیا و به پارتین کرد یه دن یه دروین و لروجاوا چاویه
يعني في ضوية ديالوجك دمشق نابر بارتين كردي ده نابنتيا أمريكا تكرن وقصد به يعني حقبناها رولك باش ليستنا وك لهفكرنك سبيكي نابر هلو أليان جرك ديالوج دوام بده بحكومة هرم رجي يعني وقت كورونا هناك أليكاري دان بتبقى أف جهاز بي سي آر دان أف جهة سباسية لمسألة دري بالتمامي هن حطناها فنبونا قرتينا أليكاري درباسي في درينابه سكينية وأف جي روشة خلكي برجراندك يعني عملت كامباندا إبهنا بربونا في كريزا أبوري إيكو داس بيجويبا روش خلكي قال لك جراند.
So, as you know, there is a process right now of bringing the Kurdish parties of our region together. We're in a process in which the US is actually participating in and contributing positively to, in which we're trying to bring other Kurdish parties that we've had a certain amount of hostility with previously, but we're on a good path right now, I think, to reconciling our differences and coming together very soon. I'm hopeful of that process. With the KRG, yes, you're right. They actually provided some assistance, and we've had some delivery of technical equipment from the Kurdistan regional government. But unfortunately, the border crossing is still very limited. And unfortunately, it's almost like a blockade because we can't get aid through that border as freely as we would like. And hopefully we can overcome that sometime soon.
Are you referring to the border?
يعني زختك مظن كيجبو فينا او هرد بيجي كردي باش وكردي خراب يعني كردي باش ايكو الجم تركينا كردي خراب ايكو للدوري وين دي هر پرچه دکه ایرشی کود دسر باشوری کردستانی جی هنگ دوی چرچه ویدت مشینه دخوازه وی دیالوگی تیک ببه دخوازه چه لهوهاتنا کردا هبه وان لهوهاتنا خراب بکه پرچه بکه جبوجی ترکیه راستی رولک پر خراب لیزه تیبت و ایرشین وید بی ایکو دکه.
I would like to add, though, the Turkish state is trying very hard to put a wedge in between us and the other Kurdish parties. They've always made the difference of the good Kurds and the bad Kurds, and the good Kurds being Kurds that they can control, and the bad Kurds being Kurds that want to be independent and so they're trying really hard to ensure that this process that we've initiated, the process of reconciliation with the other Kurdish parties, doesn't go well at all.
What about negotiations in Geneva? Are you able to participate, or is Turkey still blocking your delegation from joining?
سورجا جنیو چاوادیچه یعنی هین ترکیه آستنگ دبه جبو تبلیبوینا و یا کس جواراتش دگوتیه اون تبلیبه بن یا نه؟
نه جنیو تمامی سکینیه دولت ترکیه جفا حقها آستنگه کسی که جین توز ندایه که امی بشتار بده نا أمريكا نا فرنسا. ونجد كيكو يعني أمي بشتري شهر سريت سياسي بن حطنا ننتخب صوتنا يعني شغل جنيف سكينيتها.
I mean, Geneva itself has come to a complete halt anyway. But you're right. Up until now, the Turkish state has done everything it can to actually block us from attending, and they've been successful at that because neither France nor the US were able to overcome that impediment, and unfortunately, they were unable to invite us to Geneva. But as I mentioned, Geneva's come to a complete stop anyway.
So it's my view that there can be no effective dialogue unless Syrian Kurds, who control 30% of the country's territory and represent a population of several million, are included. So we'll continue to raise our voice in Washington circles, encouraging representatives of the administration to participate more fully in constitutional, political, and humanitarian dialogue.
گوری من تو چاره سری تنه به کردان به کو هزکو سدیسی سوری یعنی آخات سوریه ریود به و امجی اولین و واشنگتن هر فرصت دا دخازن حق واجبو تبلیغوین او سرجا امی هر تم دنگ خواب بلنده کن.
So we're very pleased that our Zoom conference today is co-sponsored by Justice for Kurds. Also very pleased that its founder and chairman, my good friend and colleague, Tom Kaplan, has joined us. Tom, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, David. Thank you for providing this excellent platform for those who are as passionate as you are and as we are to be well informed about the tragic situation of the Kurds in the northern and eastern Syria. On behalf of Justice for Kurds, our co-founder, Bernard-Henri Lévy, and Emily Hamilton, who does all of the work, we really want to thank you for giving us the opportunity to be included in this. It's always a pleasure to see Ilham and Sinam, and we're very grateful to the work and translation of Giran. We are, as you know, standing in solidarity with the Kurds. Our passion for the subject has only increased in direct proportion to the passion with which the Kurds tormentors, the Turks, the Iranians in particular, are increasing the pressure on our Kurdish friends, obviously our solidarity with the Iraqi Kurds. I'd like to ask a question of Ilham, perhaps also Sinam. As we, people like David, like myself, Emily, are advocating for the Kurds with Republicans and Democrats, as we advocate for you, could you give us some insight, as difficult as it is to be objective, about what you think are the motivations of President Erdogan with regard to the ruthlessness and cruelty with which he is conducting this campaign against you, with obvious reference to Afrin, where you're from, to Sinjar, now once again in northern Iraq. What do you think his motivations are? To what extent is he playing to nationalism? And to what extent is this a very personal bitterness that you see? It's very clear that he is expanding or seeking to expand Turkish influence throughout the region, from Qatar to Libya to Somalia. The Kurdish example, however, seems to be particularly single-minded. Why do you think that is? Obviously, there are the obvious considerations about the PKK trying to connect the YPG and the SDF to the PKK, but this seems to be so brutal. And the armies that he's trained in Syria, he's now using in Libya. What do you see as Erdogan's motivation?
والله نها ام دبینن اردوان ایریشی که یعنی زوفا ایریشی که پر گران دست بکریه از دخوازم وی پرسکم یعنی بلکه هنک پرسه که جی زور به بس یعنی او موتیواسیون اردوان چیه یعنی دجمنایی وی بیرeysel'e yan tişkidin heyeli henek dedikari ser psikolojiya Erdoğan u çima ev erişa yani motivasyonu mi sedemi wî çine çima erişi ki var wisa ser ve çedike
يعني لتركيا هناك بارتيين سركه هنا مهب وأف بارتي ملي قومي هر وها بارتيا AKP يعني هر دو بارتي يك إسلامية برحشكة يك جي قومي برحشكة ملي برحشكة هر دوك بني يك برابر كردا جبو قركرنا كردا في درد بلا بلا يعني جبو قركرنا وان بني يك جبو يجي يعني سياسات بالصالات حكومات تركيا تاب إيكو هاتنا سر دسلات إيكو نكاري بون كردا تنابكن AKP بوی کمبونا وان پارتیا تبی و سیاست ای کدن تبی و سر به دخوازه کرده قرب کش بوده لبخی درد به همه بیجی اویا پگی که و برک وری قرب کردن اویا تروریسته قبل عراق دبه لباشور لروجاوا دبه لباشور دبه لروجاوا دبه لباکور دبه لإيران روجلات دبه لبخی درد به بلا حتی الأوروبا به لأمريكا به يعني البرجاف أو خلقي كو دركتو بروتستوي بتشي وزير كيف سروان بتشون لواشنطن أبيا هم جاركي وك أوك هندرين إيه سياسات الدولة تركيا إيه دجمنانج برامبر كردا بريفات بن إيه في بارتين إيه شوفينيست وهم جي وك سايتي أردوغان إيدي فرق كريه مسألة كي
So there are two.
Diwan, you want to step in and translate there?
Yeah. So there are two parties with dangerous mentalities in Turkey who are in a coalition right now and are running the country. And one of these parties, the AKP, has a very overt Islamist strain, and the other is a very nationalist party, the MHP. And both of these parties are now partnered and are in a coalition and are running the country. And so for the first time maybe in the history of the Turkish Republic, who has, the Republic itself has a very hostile approach to the Kurdish issue, but these two parties are coming at it from two different directions. And this has meant that the animosity towards the Kurdish people has actually doubled. And so we're receiving attacks from two approaches right now. And it seems as if all the hostile factions throughout the history of the Turkish Republic have come together in this coalition right now. And the Republic for the last 100 years has tried to crush the Kurdish existence and has failed. And it seems as if the Turkish state has now put all of its eggs in the AKP MHP basket and are going for this one last push to extinguish any kind of Kurdish desire for any status in the region. And the using of the PKK as an excuse for this is very telling. I mean, any Kurd that is working for any sort of political status for the Kurdish people is being labeled as either the PKK or just terrorists in general.
So we have a couple of questions that we've received from participants via email. And then when we conclude, I see Cengiz Chandar is on the line. Cengiz, can we turn to you for the final question? Greetings. First question comes from Hashim Magoubi, and it has to do with the impact of the Caesar sanctions on Syria Is this something that the administration supports? Is there a carve out for North and East Syria? What's your view on sanctions and US policy?
هقولهم او سر یاسای سزار یکو امریکا نها هم بری حکومت سوریه لدار خست او سر و باندور بکه یا عجبا حکومت امریکی جبوه جداتی که چکر یا نه
عند داخیانی وانی وزارت کار در ابوكو جزاير ليه مسألة برا سوري وقتكو قيمته ويت كذا فياته ويت كذا سر جانا قال لك موضوع دكين يعني قصدك فيات تشتاق قال لك بلند بس وكذا يدي إمكانك وخلق تشتان بكرين نامنا يعني في واردة قال لك زحمتي تين كشندن مجاري كتنا باريسوري قيمته باريسوري.
I mean, the State Department had issued a statement in which it said that humanitarian aid would still continue. But I think the main problem with that, with the actual sanctions, is that the value of the Syrian currency is on a nosedive, and that's having an impact on all the peoples of Syria wherever you go. The purchasing power of the currency and the people throughout Syria is just decreasing, and that's gonna have an impact on everyone.
What are your currency options? You clearly won't use the Turkish lira. What currency can you use for business?
کیجان پره دکارم به کار بینن یعنی امزانن اون پره ترکا به کار ناینن بس اپسیون وی جدا هنه یا نه
يعني حطبنا هاي ما تبي ديارك ندوية ليه بشكلك خزائي دولار تيب كاراني حطبنا هاي بري سوري جنب بكارتين وهر والله ما دوام بكن يعني بري سوري ده ليه بتهيك لكيلا كوي بكاراني دولار فيكس افجي وقت احتياجك هي كو دولار سو كده وارد تنجبوكو هرفيد نفسك
We haven't taken any decisions yet. We're still using the Syrian currency and Syrian pound, and but parallel to this, we're actually using the dollar as well to a very limited extent. But we haven't. I mean, we'll still have to use the Syrian currency, I think, for the foreseeable future. We've just simply not taken any kind of decision on this yet. But the usage of dollars is increasing at the same time.
We have a question from Margaret Owen from Widows for Peace Through Democracy. She asks, what pressure can be brought to bear by civil society in the UK and elsewhere to encourage application of the responsibility to protect and engage the international community more fully in helping the Syrian Kurds? And after you answer that, I see Karim Yildiz is on the line. He's a very effective advocate in Europe. Maybe Karim, you want to weigh in and share your thoughts on this. First, the floor is for
Ilham. سیویل toplum çava dikare bebandor be welatên Britanya yan dervey welat yani sivil topluma hêzin navnetewî çawa dikarin zext bikin ser hikûmetên xwe ku alîkar bin ji Kurdên Sûriye.
یک جمره پیوست اف دریه تجارت بگل متن دریه کوچره سربیا يعني سازين جواكا سيفيل هجر قارب البيواري دا خبطة كي بدن مشوندن زختي بكن داكو داريه كو صفا ببجبود تجارته يعني حكومة العراق بقراني يعني جبوكو اري كرنا حكومة سوري بكره والبندي دهلي باندورا روسيا لسر هي ابياجي قال لك اصلا ذاتي يعني يجبوك داري بنبه در وی يعني اف مجاري اي ابوري جبوك هم اني وره در باس به هم جي شركات ورن لفي داري خباطه بكن افيا بيويستا دستك كو بيش وزي لازمه
I think
جواكا سيفيل ضغطين كود إيرشنا يعني نهل بنكو إيرشك تركي يدن شيء ببين أنفار وجاد بهيس يعني برضه ورده السريكاني الكيسبيت هناك لفو تفجر هناك ممكرني حتى هنا ندوره يعني إيرشك دن دست ببين بوي دوی وارد جواکا سیویل هشیار بن خودی آگاهی بن داکو بکار بن لپیشی ریل پیشی ایرشک دن بگرن کراستک دن چی نبی يعني فلکتک دن چی نبی دن در هریم.
I think from civil society, there are several topics that need to be highlighted. The first being, I mean, we want to lift the embargo on ourselves because we need at least one border crossing to enable trade or goods coming in and out. That's, I think, a priority. Secondly, we'd like to try and see international organizations and companies coming in to invest and actually invest in the infrastructure of the region. And thirdly, the potential for further attack by the Turkish army. We want everyone in the world, all civil society groups, to actually be sensitive to further attack by the Turkish army, because we can see in certain regions certain preparations by the Turkish army and their affiliated gangs to continue their attacks against us.
Karim, do you want to add a thought here? You'll need to unmute yourself, Karim. So Karim, looks like you're unmuted. You want to share your thought now?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so Karim, it looks like we're having some technical difficulties. Cengiz, can you unmute yourself for the purpose of making a statement or asking a question?
Yes, I hope you hear me. No?
We can hear you fine.
Good. Actually, what I had in mind to ask to Ilham Ahmed is partly answered by her, but still I want to go with the question, and I want to put it in a different way. The question is that lately, the most important development had taken place. It is the reconciliation between different Kurdish groups in Syria, in Rojava, between PYD and ENJS. And it's obvious that Turkey is not really happy about it. And today, literally today, Devlet Bahçeli, the leader of the Ilham Ahmed mentioned, the ultra-nationalist coalition partner of Erdogan, had made a very venomous, in terms of language, very venomous statement as of today. And he said that Turkey, the power, the government, will foil this reconciliation. So given this reconciliation is assisted by the initiative of the Americans and the French, which Turkey is in real trouble, and also Bahçeli underlined very critical, very aggressive remarks on France from Libya to Syria, portraying it as a very anti-Turkey element. So do they expect any sort of a military operation of Turkey like the one in October 2019 in order to foil this Kurdish reconciliation? And given the American initiative under William Rubach, the State Department diplomat, the American diplomat, which was in this initiative, but having Trump as a close friend of Erdogan, how come to what extent they can be faithful about or relying on the Americans. And the last, as far as it was an American and French initiative, there's no reason that we need to believe that Russians and the Iranians are happy about this reconciliation. So under these circumstances, what is the position of them to go forward with this reconciliation?
Diwan, that's a lengthy question. Can you translate it for us?
I'll try and get the 3 points, and hi to Cengiz abi. I havali ham neha sepers hebun yek iro devlet bahçeli daxuyani ki daye u daxuyani ki tund hembera hev hatına enekese u qasede un acaba Türk yani devleta Türk eriş bike eğer un براستی hev وارن به انکسه اون هف پیمانی که چیکن اون بندواریا و چیه ترکا ایریشی که چی بکسر روجاوا جاری کده دو یعنی نها ویلیام روباک دیپلماتی امریکی جی هبو د ناو او نقاشاندا بس ترامپ و اردوغان حوالی هفن یعنی اون باورن امریکی بشکری بده او هف هاتنا و یا نه We lost Ilham?
She's still there, but I'm trying to unmute her. I don't know if, let me see.
دانتي؟
تي yes.
يعني جبو او احتمال يريشن دولة تركيا وام تخمين بكن يريشك دن شي ببين داخيانيا اي كوتين دان برتوندن يعني تشد دولة باختشالي بيتش جبلي وي اردوغان بي يعني دفي واردة بالتجاري دولة تركيا جبوكو كرد نزي هفد ببن اتفاقك نافبر خودت شي بكن يكتيا خود شي بكن برسكريكي خود شارة سر بكن دولة تركيا جبيارا نا دیگره هر تم دخوازی کردان پرچه بکیه هنه که بگیره آدین خو هنه که جی لدیجی خو لهلده قرشی خو بوی شوازی کردا تصفیه بکیه یعنی سیاست اکوها دولت ترکیه هر تم دمشاندن احتمال هیه کو ایریشک چی ببیجی امریکا حتی بنها نابندید که و خویای به اصراره ام هیویدا بوی شوازی بردوان يعني رولا خدا درانية كدابو في ديالوكي في شي وزي بردام بكي بقالك باش.
So firstly, we're expecting an attack from Turkey anytime soon. But I believe that any kind of an agreement between us and the ENKS will probably speed up any kind of attack that the Turkish state is preparing right now, because I mean, as everyone is aware, the Turkish state tried to use certain Kurdish groups against our administration, and this is something that they've been doing for a long time. They've always tried to divide and conquer the Kurds, and so they'll definitely not be happy when Kurdish groups come together and reconcile and look to joining forces and to move forwards together. So yes, we are expecting some sort of an intervention by the Turkish state as talks between us and the other Kurdish groups progress. Secondly, well, yes, the US has contributed positively to this process, and although in the last few years, things have been up and down, and we've had certain expectations of the US that weren't met, and sometimes they were. But we're definitely hoping that the US presence in these talks continue, because up until now they've been very positive and constructive in their presence.
Well, thank you for that response. We're a little past our closing time. Let me invite Tom Kaplan to make a closing statement, if he wishes.
Thank you very much, David. Once again, I'd like to highlight your consistent devotion to the Kurdish cause. And again, speaking on behalf of Bernard and Emily, all of us at Justice for Kurds stand with the Kurds in solidarity. And I can only say, watch this space, because it is our agenda to be able to advance the Kurdish cause with both parties in this country, so that there is not just greater consistency in our policy, but a more pro-Kurdish stance. I don't have to tell you, you know better because you're in the front lines, that we are dealing with a very erratic American foreign policy. It's our hope that we will be able to see something that is more unified in understanding and showing who our true friends are in the region. Those who are technically speaking our allies have not been behaving as allies, and those who unfortunately don't have anything in writing have been behaving as our best allies. And you know that when I speak of that, I speak of the Kurds. So thank you. We can only say that you have our hearts and you have our minds, and we promise that both will remain with you during these difficult times.
Well, thank you very much for that statement, Tom. Thanks to all of our participants for joining. Let me just make an announcement that tomorrow, the 23rd at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Columbia will host a dialogue with the representatives of the Kurdish parties in Iran, talking about Kurdish unity there, relations between Kurds in Iran and other minorities, and political transition in Iran. So if you need more information, you can contact myself or Maggie, our communications director. Ilham, let me just reflect personally. The administration is so fortunate to have somebody of your character and courage and intelligence representing Kurds in Rojava. And we feel honored to know you and privileged to host you. And we look forward to future cooperation in service of the Kurdish cause.
اول الهام ديفيد بجا يعني قال لي روجافا خير شانسيه كو يكي وكيته بجسارت ننرتيا او جلادك ام سپاس دکن جبوت هفلی بویناته و از پر کیف خاشم کو تکیلیام هیا و ام دکارن در باغ.
So we pledge solidarity and support. We look forward to having you in New York at Columbia again. And as soon as we can, we'll come to Kamishlo and see you there. Meanwhile, this Zoom conference is adjourned. And I thank everybody for participating. Thank Iran and Sinam for your participation as well.
Thank you, David. Thank you, Ilham. Thank you, Sinam.